What's up, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Off the Battlefield podcast presented by Veterans Claim Servants. Today, we're going to be talking about how does VA back pay work. Before we get going into this episode, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell, share this out with someone that can use this information. We are veterans, serving veterans. We want you to know that you matter, that you cared for, and I just thank you for your service to our country. So, back pay, as we know, is the retroactive compensation veterans receive for the period between the effective date of their claim and when the VA approves their benefits. So, the VA owes this compensation because you, the veteran, are entitled to payment starting from when your condition began or worsened, not just from when the claim is approved. The amount of back pay, though, can sometimes be confusing. It can be substantial, especially if the claim takes months or even years to process. So today, in this video, I want to explain everything that you need to know about back pay, including how it works, some of the key factors that determine your effective date based on the type of claim and service connection, and the strategies that you can use to maximize your retroactive compensation. Okay, so VA back pay refers to retroactive compensation for the period between the effective date of a claim and the date it is approved by the VA. The effective date is crucial, very important to understand this. It's crucial in determining the amount of back pay, and it is typically the date the claim was filed. Typically, that's not always the case. Many people say, oh my gosh, I did not get my back pay from the date of intent to file. Well, remember this, if it was a mental health claim, you're going to get paid on the day that they received the claim, not necessarily the intent to file. There are different types of claims that provide different effective dates. Okay. So it's typically the date the claim was filed or the date entitlement arose, depending on the type of claim. You need to understand that. Different claim types, such as direct service connection, secondary service connection, or increased rating claims, may have different rules for establishing effective dates, impacting the amount of back pay a veteran can receive. So, for instance, if you're at 50% now and then you got it 3 years ago, and again, you're outside of that appeal window, you aren't appealing within a year, providing new evidence or doing a higher level review. If you come in 3 years later after a 50% PTSD rating and you say that you want to do an increase, you're not going to get back paid for 3 years. Okay. You're going to get back paid from the effective date, should be the day that they received the claim, the VA received the claim. Okay. You're not necessarily going to get paid for your intent to file. The intent to file is just saying, hey, I'm letting you guys know that I'm filing for this, but depending on the type of claim, you're going to get, especially mental health, you're going to get paid from the day that the VA receives your claim. Veterans can also receive back pay for previously denied claims. Again, you'd be appealing it in this case if approved on appeal or when reopening with new evidence. So supplemental claim, as well as for adding dependents, ensuring they are compensated for delays in processing. Very important to understand. How does back pay work for VA disability benefits? Back pay for VA disability refers to the retroactive compensation a veteran is owed, starting from the effective date of their claim to the date the VA approves it. The effective date, again, is critical for determining the amount of back pay you'll receive. Okay, so what is the effective date for VA disability claims? The effective date for VA disability claims is usually the date the VA receives your claim or the date entitlement arose, whichever is later. If the claim is filed within a year of discharge, the effective date can be the day after discharge. Other factors, new evidence, appeals in the type of claim, direct service connection, secondary, or presumptive service connection can influence the final effective date. You need to understand that. Those things can do that. VA claims for a disability rating increase. I was just talking about that a minute ago. If you're at 50%, and I'm only using PTSD for an example, or a mental health rating, and you go up and ask for an increase because it's worsened in severity, if it worsens after receiving that rating, say from 3 years ago, and you file for an increase, the VA will award back pay for the difference between the old and new rating if you file for it in time. If you file for it in time, back pay covers the period from the date the condition worsened if the claim is filed within 1 year of the worsening. So if it's outside of that year window, you're not going to get back paid for 4 years because you chose that 50%, you got that 50%, the VA deemed you at 50% 3 years ago. If you got it less than a year ago and you file and you do a supplemental claim or you higher level review it and the VA awards you a 70% rating instead of that 50 and it's within that year time frame, then yes, you should get back paid the difference from the 50 to 70 from the day that you were awarded the effective date of the 50% rating that you got. Okay. So if the claim is filed within 1 year of the worsening or from the date the veteran files the claim for an increase, whatever is applicable, you should get paid. So again, 50% for PTSD, but you filed for an increase in 2021 due to worsening symptoms. The VA approves an increase to 70%, and the veteran receives back pay from the day they filed for the increase in 2021, unless medical evidence shows the worsening occurred earlier and the claim was filed within 1 year of that date. VA claims for direct service connection. The effective date for a direct service connection is generally the date the VA received your claim or the day after discharge if you file within 1 year of separating from service. If you file more than 1 year after discharge, the effective date becomes the day the VA received your claim. Okay, so an example is a veteran separates from the military on April 1st, 2021 and files for disability compensation on June 1st, 2021. Since the claim is within 1 year of discharge, the effective date should be, right? It should be April 2nd, 2020, the day after discharge, ensuring you receive back pay from that date. Okay. So that's if you are separating from active duty, separating from the service, you got a year to file that, and you should get back paid the day after you got out, as long as you file within that year. Okay. Secondary service connection, the effective date for secondary service connection claim, it is generally the date the VA received the claim for the secondary condition or the date entitlement arose, whichever is later. A secondary service connection is established when a veteran's service-connected condition causes or aggravates another disability. So remember, to do a secondary claim, I talk about this all the time, you need to have your rating in place first. You need to have a rating for PTSD or for tinnitus. It needs to be a service-connected disability, and then you can secondary off of that. Okay, so that's very important. Presumptive service connection for presumptive conditions, such as those related to the PACT Act, Agent Orange exposure, Gulf War illness. The effective date is either the date the VA received your claim or the date entitlement arose. For example, the date of diagnosis, whichever is later. If filed within 1 year of separation, the effective date can be when the condition began. Okay, so that's very important to understand that. PACT Act related claims. If you filed a PACT Act related claim before August 10th, 2023, the VA should, in most cases, backdate your benefits to August 10th, 2022, the date the law was enacted. For claims filed after August 10th, 2023, the back pay will start from the date the claim is received by the VA. So that's very important. So, for example, a Vietnam veteran with presumptive exposure to Agent Orange who files a claim for hypertension in July 2023 and gets approved in October 2023 would receive back pay starting from August 10th, 2022, when the law was enacted. That's when they should get that back pay. This ensures veterans are compensated for the period from the effective date to the date the claim is approved. Supplemental claims. For supplemental claims where new and material evidence is presented after a denial, the effective date is either the date the VA received the supplemental claim or the date entitlement arose. For another appeal route, higher level reviews, it is the VA looks at the same evidence again without changing the effective date. If the review leads to a favorable decision, the effective date remains the date of the original claim, so no additional back pay is generated. Okay. And if you go the BVA route, which is the last option of appeals that I would go, if the claim is appealed to the Board of Veterans Appeals and the appeal is granted, the effective date remains the date the original claim was filed, assuming the appeal was continuously pursued. This ensures that back pay is calculated from the original effective date. Okay. Special monthly compensation claims as well. The effective date is typically the date the VA received the claim of the date or the date the veteran became entitled to special monthly compensation, whichever is later. So what that means is that the back pay will be calculated from the effective date, compensating veterans for the period from when they became eligible for special monthly compensation to when the VA approves the claim. Aid in attendance or housebound claims. For aid in attendance or housebound benefits, the effective date is usually the date the VA received the claim or the date the need for such assistance arose, whichever is later. This means the VA will calculate back pay from the effective date if the veteran required assistance before filing the claim. So again, how does the VA determine back pay for disabilities? The VA compensates veterans for the time between the effective date and the date the claim is approved. The back pay is typically paid, again, I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence, but as a lump sum after the VA finalizes your claim. The total amount generally depends on disability rating, the effective date, whether any changes, rating increases occurred during the period. Once the claim is approved, the VA usually disperses back pay within 15 days of the decision, although timelines can vary. Now, this is an important question here, and that I'd like to answer. How far does the VA disability back pay go? The length of time that back pay covers is determined by the effective date and the processing time for the claim. The effective date and the processing time for the claim. The back pay period spans from the effective date to the date the claim is approved. The VA typically awards back pay in a lump sum, and if the claim takes 12 months to process, the veteran would receive back pay for that entire 12-month period. In certain circumstances, like clear and unmistakable errors, Q errors, or supplemental claims with new and material evidence, the VA may adjust the effective date to an earlier point, resulting in more significant back pay. Okay, so that is very important. Can you get back pay for a previously denied claim? Yes, if a previously denied claim is later approved, the veteran is eligible to receive back pay starting from the original claim date, assuming the claim was continuously pursued through the appeals process. That's why you don't give up. You got to continue to appeal. You remember, you can file as many supplemental claims as you want. You can higher level review. Now, there could be a limit to the higher level reviews, but not to the supplemental claims. Okay. So the supplemental claims with new and relevant evidence that was not previously considered, the effective date for back pay depends on whether you filed your supplemental claim within 1 year or after 1 year of the original decision. So you must continue to figure out why, look at your rating decision letter if you've been denied, and keep pursuing it if you feel that you can establish that service connection and that it is rightfully so that you need to be entitled to that service connected disability. You need to keep going. Supplemental claims filed within 1 year. If your supplemental claim is approved and it is filed within 1 year of the original decision, your compensation will typically be backdated to the effective date of the original claim. Supplemental claims filed after 1 year. If you file the supplemental claim more than 1 year after the original decision, the effective date will generally be the date of the new supplemental claim, meaning that retroactive benefits will only cover the period starting from the new claim filing date. There are special considerations for what we call NEMR claims for veterans exposed to Agent Orange. The NEMR ruling provides special retroactive compensation if a claim was denied for a condition later recognized as being related to herbicide exposure. This applies to claims denied between September 25th, 1985 and May 3rd, 1989. If a veteran does qualify under the NEMR provisions, their effective date may be adjusted back to the original claim date, leading to significant back pay. Okay. Also, adding dependents. Veterans with dependents are eligible for additional compensation, and if there is a delay in adding dependents to your claim, the VA does provide back pay. The VA compensates for the time from the effective date to the date the dependents are approved. According to 38 CFR, the effective date for dependents is date of marriage, birth, or adoption, provided evidence is submitted within 1 year, or the dependency arose, or the date of notification of the veteran's disability rating, whichever is later. Okay. And remember, to receive back pay for dependents, you need a combined disability rating of 30% or higher. You must file for dependents within 1 year of the marriage, birth, or adoption. Respond to VA requests for additional information in a timely manner if they need it. For clear and unmistakable errors, it's very important to understand how that works, right? And there was a notable case. A veteran with service from 1950 to 57 was denied a proper rating decision in 1961 for chorioretinal degeneration that led to blindness. Decades later, the VA identified a clear and unmistakable error in the 1961 decision. As a result, the veteran was awarded back pay dating to 1961. The veteran received over $200,000 in retroactive compensation, highlighting the importance of challenging errors. So it's very important to understand the VA disability back pay, how it works. It's crucial for ensuring that you receive the full benefits that you're entitled to, whether filing a new claim, supplemental claim, appeal. Don't stop filing for your claim. Make sure that you go the proper appeal routes. If you need help, get the proper, right, honest, and integral help. Do not stop. Do not give up. But again, I hope that that helps you in this video. Again, we wrapped up how does back pay work for VA disability benefits, effective dates for the different types of VA disability claims, right? VA claims for disability rating increase, direct service connection, secondary service connection, presumptive service connection, PACT Act related claims, higher level reviews, supplemental claims, Board of Veterans Appeals, especially monthly compensation, aid and attendance. How does the VA determine back pay, and much more? So I hope that this video really helps you. A lot of this will be in the description of this video as well too, but it's very important that you understand and that you take a look at the effective date on your rating decision letter for whatever type of claim that you filed. If you've been denied, continuously pursue your claim. Don't stop and let it sit for 10 years. Find out what evidence is needed. There's a lot of help out here on YouTube and through different places. Find the help that you need, get the right help that you need. If you do need a nexus letter, DBQ, or anything like that, and you feel that the VA rated you low and you feel that it's gotten worse, then you can reach out to Dr. Sharma, Dr. Lopez. Some of the doctors are in here. You can shoot us an email, info@veteransclaimservants.com. That email is in the description of this video. Our IG is in the description of this video. We just want to make sure that you get the proper help that you need without getting screwed over. Make sure it's honest and integral. I always recommend go to your primary care doctor. If you do need to go a different route, make sure that you go to your primary care doctor and get the proper help that you need with everything. So I hope that this video has helped you. Thank you for tuning in today to another episode of the Off the Battlefield podcast presented by Veterans Claim Servants. Today, again, we discuss how does back pay work for VA disability. If you need help, reach out, get the help that you need, and do not stop fighting. Like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell. And until next time, I am out.